All right, what you are about to see is a video where I am saying my own testimony of how I lost 60 pounds, right? And I'm keeping it off. And lots of people have just been asking me how I did it. So I made this whole video for the trainer that I was working with before, but we had a disagreement about how to maintain. Like, he had a very low amount of calories. And as a psychologist, I couldn't recommend, just as a person as well, that little amount of calories to other people, because I don't want anyone to develop any kind of eating disorder ever. I don't want to be any part of responsible for that. And even though I am a psychologist in my own day job, I'm not your psychologist. I'm also a mom. I'm not your mom. And so all this is a testimony of how I lost 60 pounds in less than 6 months. And I just I had to go back through and get all the material and edit out references to that coach, even though I'm so appreciative, and I'll always be appreciative of that coach and how he helped me get to this place. And I do recommend that you have accountability and you have a coach and you go see a trusted doctor. Like, it's hard. I like naturopaths, So anyway, this isn't medical advice at all. This is just testimony of how this happened for me and what my regimen was. And anyway, I wish you the best. Thanks. All right. My name is Cheryl Meyer. I was so happy to find a natural way to lose. I lost 60 pounds in 6 months, less than 6 months, over 60 pounds now, as of today. So I'm really excited. And I want to tell you, the purpose of this video is to tell you how I lost the first 15 pounds within 30 days. So you know exactly what I did. I'll just tell you what I did. Before, when I would try to lose weight forever, for like 20 years, tried to lose weight and it didn't work or it didn't stay or whatever, because I would reduce my calories, and then your body gets used to that range of calories and your metabolism slows down. I don't know. It just never worked. It didn't work. So I can show you the beginning of my chart. We kept a chart. And so here's my first month. I don't mind if you see it. I started at 188.2, and I didn't even write in today, so you can be with me while I write in today. It was 127.8, and I am going to feast today, so that means I get to eat lots. Well, we'll see. Okay, so what we did is, so I went from 188 to 128. Basically, that's 60 pounds. I'm like, what? I'm still like so amazed. I'm wearing like a size 0 or a size 25. This is extra small. And anyway, we broke it up into 10-day increments. So you're just looking at 10 days at a time. And he wanted us to, or he wanted me, I know he did this with the other people he's worked with, men and women, is to calorie cycle. So at least 3 out of 10 days, and not consecutive days, he wants us to fast. And so I just had liquid fast. So sometimes I would have like a protein milk and I'd put it in iced coffee with unsweetened cocoa. I made sure to have chocolate every day. I don't remember a day that I didn't have chocolate on this. So this was, let's see what day it is today. Today is day 178. This will be 6 months, is day 180. All right, so that's what day it is today. I finished early. Overachiever, yay, So anyway, I'll tell you about myself after this. I want you to know how to do this. So calorie cycling. So for me, I'm 5'5.5". So I would have 1,500 calories on my feast days and 250 calories on my fasting days. and those would only be liquid calories. So sometimes I would have like a shot of turmeric, or I would have ginger, or I would have some kombucha. Is that what it's called? I never knew all this stuff before, but you don't have to have all the fancy stuff. Just eat. On the days where I'm eating, I would do my best to eat whole foods, proteins, like, like a real apple or nuts, or um, a piece of fish, or green salad. And is when you calorie cycle, you're having your 1500 calories or whatever calories are best for your body. And then you have just less calories on the fasting days. And for me, I would fast Monday, Wednesday, Friday. It just worked with my schedule, and that's how it worked. And on the fasting days, he'd have me exercise 1,000 calories. And so the exercise was so different than normal. I mean, it's just normal. You can go do this. But I would get on a treadmill, and I started on an incline. And I live by hills, so I started at a 4. 4 was okay for me. Exercise between like 6 and 9 of the intensity level. So every time it started getting easy, I would increase the incline. And I'm only walking 3 miles an hour. 4.8 kilometers, I think that's what it was, because I was just in Europe, and I got to work out at the hotel gym, and it was overlooking all of Salzburg. It was really beautiful. And so I had to like find out how to change the metrics. Anyway, and also over 25 kilograms I lost. If you use the metric system, that's what 60 pounds are. 55 plus pounds was around that back then. But anyway, all right. So so we use calorie cycling so that your body never thinks it's starving. So before, when I just lowered my calories, my body would think it was starving. When I do calorie cycling, it's like it tricks your body to know that you're always going to get food. And so on my feasting days, I would have 1,500 calories. And like I said, I would go get, like, I don't cook very often. And so I would go to In-N-Out. I live in California, and I would get like 4 meat patties and 1 cheese with grilled onions and raw onions, and with a lettuce wrap, because who's not going to be full on 4 pieces of meat with a cheese? And so it tastes like cheesy goodness anyway. And that would be like 500 calories. And so I could have that 3 times a day if I wanted to, and I would be full. Like, obviously that's going to fill you up. I made sure to have like whole pieces of chicken or fish. I had a lot of salmon on this diet. And I would have lettuce, and I would put lemon juice instead of dressing sometimes, or just put like a teaspoon, a little bit of dressing. You want to have some oils and fats in your diet. I know you want to have that. But I always wanted to make sure on the days that I'm eating to get enough protein, because I did not want to lose any muscle on my body. I roller skate, and I enjoy being outside and hiking. And, but this was completely different with I was so surprised when the weight started just coming off. I was losing like half a pound a day at the beginning, because I was walking with 188 pounds on my body. And so imagine, I'm on a treadmill on a 4, and I just kept increasing the incline. And now I'm at a 12, because that's as high as my treadmill. I hadn't ever walked on an incline. Like, why would I on purpose go up a hill? Except for when I'm hiking, there's a hill to get up to the trail. And so I started enjoying that. I met this woman, and she's like, I love the hills, and the uphill. And I'm like, what? Anyway, I recorded her one time. But when you calorie cycle, so on the feast days, I would burn around 500 calories just walking or roller skating, walking outside or roller skating, walking with friends, walking. I live by the ocean, so I can drive to it and walk on the ocean. And I do other fun things that I like doing, exercises that I like. And also I would do 3 days a week, I was doing strength training, just is 17 minutes. This 17-minute video of Pilates that I have on my phone so I can just get it done. And I would do 50 push-ups, not on my knees, regular push-ups, and 50 dips where I'm just sitting on the edge. I mean, I would just open my car door and do it parked in a parking lot if I had to, and just do the 15 push-ups, no, 25 and then 25, 50. I was going to say 50. I would do the 25 push-ups, so 50 altogether, just on the ground in a park, wherever I was, to get it done. Make sure to get it done every day, 3 days a week. So back to the calorie cycling. When you calorie cycle, you're telling your body you're going to get food, and then you're taking off the weight on the days that you're fasting, where I would have like 250 calories. For me, I would have bone broth for a while. I would have a mocha almost every day on this, and I didn't drink coffee much before this. I really love coffee now. I understand why people are like, I have to get coffee or green tea or anyway. So calorie cycling, when I would have the 250 calorie day of just liquids, I would burn 1,000 calories on that treadmill. And so for me, that took me about 2 hours. Some people, I know they would break it up, an hour in the morning, an hour at night. I would just like block off my mornings on those days for 2 hours, sometimes 2 hours and a half, 2.5 hours at 3 miles an hour. And now I'm up to a 12 incline. And I have, some kind of measurement watch that holds me accountable. I take a picture of my treadmill with the watch to show, or some kind of other thing to show that I actually did the exercise. So every day I would weigh, and I would write down my weight on this, and I would set the agenda for the day, either fast or feast. And I just have, 1 through 10. And then you put how much weight you lost at the end of this. So the first one, I didn't even have a scale in my house. So I bought a scale, and I did weigh at night here or in the middle of the afternoon, because that's when it came in the mail. But I lost 7.8 pounds that 10 days. And then 2.6, and then 3.4, which is equals 2 minus 15.4. So I would have done that even if I weighed in the morning. Well, anyway, the other months I was losing. It looks like this one I lost 9 points something pounds. I can't read my writing. Then the next month I lost 11 pounds. Anyway, we're talking about the first 30 days right now, though. So when you're calorie cycling and you're exercising, your body keeps its metabolism up, and you don't lose muscle because you're telling your body you're going to be having food. You're not starving. It doesn't have to go into starvation mode. And on the feast days are maintenance. You don't want to lose or gain 0.5 pound. Now, sometimes I noticed that I would eat more carbs or something, and my body would retain more water weight, or I'd have, anyway. So, but that's the goal. The earlier that I start eating and the earlier that I stop eating would make the best results. For me, I did my best to do that, but sometimes I'm with my kids, I'm going to eat at 6 o'clock. But I would try to eat as early as I could and get it done for the day. Then you have a longer fasting window for the whole next day. So I understand why that works. And so I always aimed to hit my calorie max. Like I definitely did. I did it to the calorie. Like I would count my gum calories, my sugar-free, this natural gum that I would get, and 60 to 120 grams of protein to make sure. And I was trying to make sure every time, even on my fast days, to get as much protein in as I could, because I did not want to lose any muscle, because muscle burns fat, and I want to maintain this, and I plan to. I was like, I don't want to count calories. And he's like, well, then this is not the program for you. And I was like, well, I'm not saying I won't count calories. I'm saying I don't want to. I didn't want to be obsessed about it. I just thought, oh, those people that count calories, you have all these excuses in your mind. So you have to train yourself and learn to let go of all excuses. Any excuse that comes up, just let it go. Just watch it go away like a butterfly or like clouds in the sky or a fish in a fish tank. You don't have to attach to any of those. All right. And so in learning how to count calories, I saw it. You learn how to reframe everything. Oh, I get to walk on a treadmill in one place. Well, I learned, like, I was already meditating on scripture, and so I just moved that to my hour on the first hour of the treadmill, just meditating. And then the second hour, sometimes I would do my work that I needed to get done. Sometimes I was learning a different language. I would do that. I listened to a lot of Audible books, so I would make sure to use that time. A couple times I just listened to music. That was really relaxing and fun. But I didn't always do that because I just want to use the time for other things usually. Oh yeah. So what I was saying is to count calories. So I did end up saying, yes, I will. Captain, I will count calories if that's what it takes. And it actually taught me how to learn about every calorie I was consuming and how I could just have empty calories. As strict as I was even before this, there were a lot of empty calories that I was consuming without realizing it. And that's putting extra weight over time on my body. And so you look up 3 ounces of salmon is this many calories. And so sometimes I would get my salad, I'd get it to go. I would bring the salmon home before I ate it and weigh it on my scale to see how many calories do they give at this place. Like I had a sort of fast food type of place that has really natural food. It's like Hawaiian natural food, and they have salmon on their salads. And then I knew the calories. And then I kind of sometimes I would look up pictures. I would do a search engine. I would look up, what does 3 ounces of chicken look like? How much is 1 breast of chicken? How much is it at this place that I know of? And the chicken that I got looked just like that place. And it worked because I lost the 60 pounds. And so you don't have to be super exact, but you want to be as exact as you can. And you don't want to cheat in any way because you're just cheating yourself. So you never want to cheat yourself, right? This is for you. And I'm so excited for you because I could not believe this weight came off. Now, what I was going to say about the treadmill is I honestly think that one of the big differences on this is because I'm walking, no one's saying you have to run, because I would be like, run the other way. I don't want to run. Sometimes I like it now, believe it or not, but I think I ran about 4 times this whole 6 months. And so there's not a lot of running that I did. And so when you're walking 3 miles an hour on an incline and you keep increasing the incline, my heart rate stayed around 135, 140, or sometimes higher, sometimes lower. Sometimes on my tired days, I'm like, look, I'm just getting in the calories burnt, and it took a lot longer time. But he wanted us to go, and I did this. When I was just in Austria, they had a treadmill at the hotel I was staying at the gym that went up to 15. I'm like, yes, I'm gonna do this. And so I went a whole hour. I think I moved my phone one time, but it's like not touching the handrails for 1 hour, and just consistently walking at 3 miles an hour. I was so proud of myself. I'm so proud of myself. In such a good way, right? Anyway, I still can't believe it. 6 months is a really quick turnaround for this to happen. And let me think. I'll start talking about myself in a second. Let me give you all the tips first. So use reading everything says the calories on it. And so sometimes I'd take pictures of that so I would know, or I would write down the calories of my normal meals. And like, if I didn't have this, I would subtract the apple and it would be the same calories. I tried to make it as simplified as possible, consistent, repeatable, Look, okay. So I'm a psychologist in my day job, and I just wrote this like a year ago, 12 ways to heal from trauma. But look at this is a year ago I wrote this, right? But way 4, be sober in all things. Do the boring thing, all right? And so that's one of the things, it's a whole chapter in my book, is do the boring thing. Is it may seem boring, what we call to your flesh. This may seem boring to keep doing the same thing over and over again, but I have a picture of me with a 50-pound bag of sand. That's what I had on my body. I had that heaviness on my body. I had 60 pounds now that I've taken off, you know? And so it's like, would you ever give that 50-pound bag to a friend and just say, hey, find a place on your body to carry this and carry this for the next 10 years? So it's like, what's 10 years or 20 years or 30 more years of carrying that weight on your body versus 6 months? All I'm saying is that what's 6 months of doing this boring thing, this thing that seems boring, that really actually brought a lot more quiet to my life, a lot more peacefulness, a lot more, just learn how to be present for 1 hour of that. Just stay in this present moment and feel yourself walking on that treadmill, and don't be caught up in your thoughts, and don't, I don't encourage like scrolling on your phone. I mean, some days if you want to watch some kind of movie and that keeps you going, then whatever, it's your life. It's your life. But I learned so much how to just appreciate a cup of coffee with a tablespoon of unsweetened cocoa powder in it. And I would put cayenne pepper, sometimes in a pinch of cayenne, and some cinnamon. And I would go get an 8-ounce mocha with almond milk and cinnamon powder. And I love that. That's 110 calories if you don't get it with whipped cream. And so, but just savoring, time with your kids, with just being able to get up and go. All right, so I'm getting ahead of myself. So there's labels and food scales, so you can weigh things and measure what you're eating and know every calorie that you're eating. So the other thing I was going to say is, when I did the calorie cycling, when I was burning my 1,000 calories on my incline treadmill, and I know people looked at, Marketplace, I won't say the name of it, whatever, go online, or there's places where people are trying to get rid of their fitness equipment. So I know people can get a treadmill for a really low amount of money, or Walmart or something like that will sell them for like $300. And so, I don't know, go around to your friends and go, can everyone give me $25 so I can lose this 60 pounds and take it off my body and inspire the world of like, whatever it takes, all right? But be safe, always do this in a safe way. And this is why I recommend the accountability of every day. I'd send him a picture of my foods, the amount of calories, the picture at the beginning of the day with my weight and my agenda for the day, fast or feast, and proof of exercise. That's it. All right. Those 3 things. I'd send him my weight chart, that had my agenda for the day, and I would send him my proof of exercise, whichever day it is, every day. And then I would send him a picture of my 3 meals with the calorie count, or anything that I consumed. I'm just sending him pictures. I told him I never texted a guy so much in my life, but he hearted all my texts. So I was like, that's worth the $125 a month. Like, that's the discount he was offering, if he's still offering that. It's just like, I was telling my friends, like, this is the money that I've saved on not eating food on my fast days. Like, it's worth it. We can always come up with excuses why we don't have that. Anyway, so, and why we ought not to do this. And other people will give you excuses too and say, oh, well, you're over this age, or you're this or that, or you have this going on. And it's like, it's not their bodies, it's yours. And God gives you the vision, not someone else. He gives you the vision. And so it's yours to carry it out and yours to complete this mission, And, anyway, so emotional about this. The earlier you start your food and end your food, the better. And aim to be done 6 to 9 hours before you go to sleep. Let me think. Right. So if I go to bed at midnight and I finish by 6 o'clock or around there, then I usually go to bed at 11:30, wake up at 7:30. So that would be 5:30. But I didn't always do that. But I did my best, right? And it worked. And he would recommend juices, coffees, teas, sparkling water. I made sure to have 1 sparkling water can a day. Usually I would have that. That was, I don't know. I just didn't want to spend extra money on that. So I would let myself have like 1 flavored water. And I was always so excited. My friends didn't know. When they offered me it, I was like, yes, it's like amazing. It's the little things, right? But coffees, teas, you can make all sorts of different flavored teas or iced tea and add some lemon juice, natural juices, grapefruit juice. Like I said, I would have ginger with lemon juice. And for us, we have Trader Joe's. So like I could get those or a big old thing at the grocery store of the green drink stuff for, it's less calories and less money. To have breakfast like a king or a queen, lunch like a prince or a princess, and dinner like a pauper. And so you want to eat your proteins at the beginning of the day and greens, and then towards the end of the day for that smaller meal you have like fruits or just lighter meal before you go to bed. And I just pretty much tried to have protein every meal or more my first and second meal, like he said, and then a lighter dinner 6 hours or so before bed, or more time if you want to lose faster. I still wanted to enjoy my life, so I made sure to enjoy my life. And on my feast days, I enjoyed every single thing I ate. I'll tell you that. I love food. Recovery. And so what he said is to prioritize resistance training and my Pilates that I was doing and the push-ups that I was doing and saunas. If you know how to go to a sauna, I got to go to one when I was in Austria. That was so cool. And because I don't have a sauna by me, but massages, I have a friend that does these lymph node drainage massages, and I like paying her for her work and I trust her. And it's amazing. And so I would do massages sometimes. Sometimes it's weird for people. But I used to go to a chiropractor, and I had a massage once a week that went with my insurance that would straighten, because I have scoliosis in my back. It would straighten the guy would straighten my back muscles out. And so my spine would hold itself more straight. And so it really was like an important part of my regimen, or how I took care of myself. And it was so strange for me to have someone taking care of my back in that way. I remember that was years ago. All right, hold on. And he said a hot tub or an ice bath, but I have a bathtub, and I would just put Epsom salt when I could. You can get big bags online sometimes, and for relatively cheap, and you can just put a cup of Epsom salt with hot bubble bath, and it's great. And ice baths, if I want an ice bath, I can just put cold water in my bathtub, and if you don't have pets around, okay, you don't want to do this with pets around, the next morning it would be really cold if you got in that, right? And that stimulates, I don't know. So I'm not a medical doctor. I'm a doctor in psychology. So anyway, one second. And so now he would say, have 2 days of resistance, recovery, and rest. I think he would have 2 days. But actually, within 10 days, if you rest every Sunday, the Sabbath, I'd be like, no, I don't want to exercise. Sometimes after sundown, I would get my walk in if I wanted to that day, because it's just pretty, and the day's ended. So I'd burn between 500 and 1,000 calories on the calorie deficit day, on your fast day. And I always thought I had to burn 1,000. So I was burning 1,000 every time on that day. Now, sometimes my watch thing would say active calories like 800, and the other calories would say like 1,100, or my treadmill would sometimes say 1,600 calories I burned, and my watch would only say I burned 1,000. And so some days, if I just didn't have any more time, I would just be like, look, I burned 1,100 calories on my treadmill. It knows that I'm on an incline, and we're going with that today. But I'd show a picture of my watch as well, and it usually would say 900 calories total, but not the active calories, if you have a measurement tool that does that. All right. And if you don't, I don't know, like borrow a friend's for like a day and see what your calories are for that hour and a half. And if you burn 1,000, then I don't know. There's other ways. I always like find the workaround, because you don't have to spend money to do this. Aw, I get songs all the time. So I'm getting this Huey Lewis song about, that's the power of love. I think it's that. I don't know, but in one of those songs, it's like, don't take money, don't take fame, don't need no credit card to ride this train. Might just save your life. That's the power of love. Can you feel it? My guitar's right over there. I could get my guitar, but anyway. All over my house, if you want to know, okay? Aim for 500 to 1,000 calories on via cardio. And the greater the deficit, the bigger the weight loss, the more rapid it goes, obviously. Do the numbers. My kids would always be like, Mom, you just restrict your calories and exercise more. And I'm like, no, it doesn't work, because it didn't work. I think because I wasn't getting my heart rate up, where I was never sweating. I was working out hard. I was working 5 days a week, 5 to 6 days a week. Now, sometimes when I did muscle resistant exercises, my body, I changed the size of my body. I was going to talk about that later. I might as well just put it here. So I don't want to say the years, because it doesn't matter what year you're seeing this, but 6 years ago from now, 6 years ago, I was wearing a size 12. All right. And then I committed to getting lean. So I just did this body, you use your own body weight, and like Pilates. And so I did about a 45-minute, 30 to 50 minutes every day, 5 to 6 days a week of that. And it changed my body from a size 12 to a size 4. And then I was still wearing my size 4. I thought everything was okay, because I never wanted to get a scale. But it started getting tight. And I finally, when I got the scale, I saw that I was 188 pounds, and I was still wearing a size 4. Now, as of today, I got down to 127.8 pounds. And so 188 to 128 is 60 pounds. Let's do the math, right? And so I lost 60 pounds, and I'm wearing a size 0, an extra small. And I have this extra small tank top, and it feels like I'm swimming in it. But I don't want to wear smaller than extra small. Like, that's how I'm not going to go shop in the kids section. I don't want to do that. I'm a woman. I embrace being a woman. I love having curves. And so here is where I plan to stay. And what worked for me was that on fast days, staying on the treadmill delivered the fastest results. I burned the 1,000 calories on that. It takes a long time. It's do the boring thing. Like I was saying earlier, like I wrote a chapter of my book was on do the boring thing. All right. Work out on the incline, but a 5 out of 10 and just gradually increase the incline once it gets too easy for you. And so until you can walk at 3 miles an hour on a 15 incline without holding the handrails, he said, for 500 calories, which I did. I'm so proud of myself. It's conditioning your heart. You feel so good. Like exercising that much, actually, I think Harvard came out with a study a long time ago that was saying something like, if people did 3 days a week of 45 minutes, it was equivalent to an antidepressant. Now, you can look that up. I can't remember the exact study, but I would always encourage my clients to go walking because it increases your serotonin. It increases all your ability to be happy. All right. Encourage was the elliptical, outdoor walks, trampoline. If you saw earlier, I have a mini trampoline underneath my bed. I just slide it under there and take it out. And I was doing the mini trampoline, but I wasn't losing weight when I was just trying to do the mini trampoline. It wasn't until I did the incline that the weight started coming off. Outdoor walks, trampoline, jumping rope, swimming, bike, stair climbing, rowing, battle ropes. I tried those one day, but not in this 6 months. Sweating as much as possible while doing cardio is the goal. The other thing is to make sure you drink electrolytes. So I have this 0-calorie electrolyte powder before I exercise and after. And I just get this big old thing of water, and then I get another mason jar full of water, and I put ice water. Look, this is so cute. Like, be mine. It's like God's always saying, just be mine. I'm always his. I am my beloved's, and he is mine. And so, look, you plus me, and bear hug, right? And so if I'm always, it says sweethearts, right? If I'm always reminding myself everywhere I have it all over my house. Look, be strong. All right. Happiness, like real happiness. And then this woman named Latoya Okia, I love her. And she did this whole weight loss thing herself. And she really encouraged me. She gave me this: be bold, be brave, be you. All right. And so you have to be so brave for this. You don't realize how brave you have to be to do the boring thing of just get on your treadmill again, just put in another hour, right? It's worth it. The word temperance, all right? There's the fruits of the Spirit: love, joy, peace, patience, goodness, kindness, gentleness, meekness, faithfulness, and self-control. That last one is the word temperance. And the word in Greek shows this as well, but the word, if you look it up, it's the definition of temperance is to delay the immediate gratification for the greater good that's more remote. Like 6 months, all I had to do was wait 6 months. Who knew that just 6 months of showing up and doing this over and over again was going to produce these results? Like, it takes a lot of heart, a lot of guts, a lot of facing, perhaps old stuff. There was definitely, like, I'm a psychologist, so I can analyze this stuff, is every 10 days, I would do a little 10-minute video of reflection or write in my journal to talk about, like, what's the stuff that came up for me. There's family issues, family stuff of why I was carrying that weight, why I was trying to create a buffer between myself and other people, why I was trying to hide myself and not be seen in a way, because probably some of it was being a perfectionist and not, if I just had this layer, then people wouldn't see me, and that's the reason they're not seeing me. Anyway, you don't ever want to idolize weight loss or your body or any of that stuff. I don't recommend idolizing any of this or being transactional with yourself. I always notice before when I'm on a diet, it's like if you a food plan, right? If you come up to yourself and you're like, you better lose this weight so you make me look good. That's just like a narcissist with a child, and you have to be my narcissistic food. Like, I don't recommend that at all. It's just like, I choose to be healthy. I choose to eat whole foods. I choose to hold myself accountable for the calories that I'm eating, for the extra weight that I've been carrying on my body. I choose to be accountable to take this weight off. I put it on. I'm going to take it off. I choose to take it off. All right. For me to fast 3 to 5 days out of 10, never back to back, and not more than 5 out of 10, because that would be back to back, right? No more, no less. No back to back fast days, like I just said. Alternate days fasting. ADF is for faster results. And so, but I always wanted to eat on Sunday. When I go to church, I go eat, you know, and it's the Lord's Day. It's the resurrection day. So for me, I never wanted to mess with that day by fasting on that day. It's always a feast day. I grew up in it. Anyway, so I chose Monday, Wednesday, Friday on fast on those days. And then I would be eating Tuesday and Thursday and Saturday and Sunday. So 4 days out of the week, I'm eating 1,500 calories. And it felt like 5,000 calories. It's like if you get, someone gets a chocolate pie and you just have one piece, you just savor that one piece, or one piece of fudge, or like 3 peanut M&Ms. They just taste so good, or whatever it is, right? Almond ones, chocolate covered almonds. Anyway, I would go, sometimes I would do my first hour with some electrolytes that are 0 calories. And after an hour, I would celebrate with a coffee with some of my protein milk, this chocolate milk protein that I would pour in some of that into my coffee with the cinnamon. And then I'd get back on for the next hour for the treadmill. All right. And I was getting work done at the same time. So it's not, for me, I prioritize meditating every day for an hour anyway. So if I have to get up at 6 in the morning to go start that hour, 6 to 7, you know, then so be it. And then drink some coffee and then get back on for another hour and be doing work, or listen to an audiobook that you've been wanting to listen to, that you said, oh, I'm going to listen to Plato sometime. Or like I was saying, learning a different language, you know, ask God. I'm always like, pray, you know, you can sit and meditate on scripture. You can pray for other people. You can have a list of people you're praying for them for half an hour of that every day, so that you're giving back at the same time that you're taking this weight off your body. It feels so good, right? It's not about just building this egotism. And like I was saying, you want to get, I recommend getting out of your egotism. Don't do this so that you're going to look fantastic. Of course, you're going to look fantastic because you took all this extra weight off your body that you weren't meant to ever carry, right? But you don't do it for that. There's a lot of different religions that teach, let go of the fruits of your labor. Let go. The fruits will happen. Just keep working. Look, I have this hanging on this all the time, because we are like this tree, this branch. You know, Jesus says, I am the vine, you are the branches. Remain in me, abide in my love, stay in this love place. Just always be loving towards yourself and other people. Forgive yourself for anything in the past. This is a new moment. All right. I'm like, you gotta own it that I'm hearing Eminem in my mind. I get songs. The Holy Spirit gives me songs, you know. And one song that came up the other day was like, "What's up, danger?" You know, like, yeah. It's like, yeah. I like swimming with sharks that haven't fed yet, right? Because people will come at you like sharks. They will. They do. And you just have to keep holding your head high and just ignore it all. I love this woman named Latoya Okia. She's like, you just say, bye, devil with your ugly self, right? Bye. You know, and, or if people from your past want to keep bringing you back in the past, and you care about these people, but you have to set boundaries with them. So she's like, I love you. God bless you. Bye. You know, so you gotta learn how to say goodbye, because you're letting go of this weight and you're shedding. No, if they're, you know, going to be discouraging, then that's where you set these boundaries. All right. So, okay. This is the thing. This is what made all the difference in the world, is daily accountability. Just getting hearts on my texts all the time, right? Someone that doesn't ghost, and making sure, hey, if you're having difficulties here, let's do this, or make sure you see your doctor, or whatever it is that you need. Like I was saying, he made sure I had daily accountability. I had to send my weight chart in every day. I had to send my proof of cardio every day. I had to send my calories for my foods, calorie count every day. And, you know, sometimes if I hadn't had a break yet until right before dinner, I would send in my breakfast and the calories. I'd send in my lunch and the calories before I ate dinner because I don't want to go over my calories. And, you know, it's like I take guitar lessons every week, almost every week. And because of that, I have to practice. If I don't practice, he'll be like, what did you do with the song that we worked on last week? You know, or my singing lessons now. I'm learning how to sing at this age. And if I don't do my exercises or practice, then she's like, what did you do? You know? So just having the consistent lessons taught me already that just like having consistent prayer time changes the whole landscape inside of you, or meditation changes, teaches you how to be calm, how to watch things unfold and happen and trust the process and live this, you know, walk this walk of faith. You know, we have faith in the unseen, not what's seen. But you're seeing this. You're seeing is believing, but also you don't see it. Sometimes it felt like I was going for 20 days without any results. And I'd call my mom, and my mom would be like, you know how it worked the last 10 days. You just keep doing what you're doing and you'll see results. Trust that you'll see results, right? Just like anything in life, right? You keep planting the seeds and you trust. And there's a verse that says something about that. It says, do not grow weary in your well-doing, for in due season you shall reap a harvest. Amen. All right. And I'm not trying to be over-religious at all, because I welcome all people of all different faiths. That's how I am. It's just like, I couldn't have got through this without, it's like me, Jesus. I'm getting the song Just a Closer Walk with Thee. And he gives me all these walking funny songs, you know, because and there's this verse in Isaiah that says, you will mount up with wings like eagles. Those who wait upon the Lord will mount up with wings like eagles. You will run and you will not grow weary, and you will walk and you will not grow faint. And so like that verse would come into my heart when I'm like so done with that treadmill. And it's just like, no, you will walk and not grow faint. We do not live on excuses. We live on, I don't know, inspiration, inspire, in spirit, the Holy Spirit indwelling. That's inspiration, right? Encouragement. That's when you infuse courage. It says the righteous are as bold as a lion, right? And what Latoya Okia had taught me, like, be bold, be brave, be you. You are the real essence of yourself. You are who you are. Learn how to love yourself regardless of what your body looks like, regardless of whether the weight's going down on the chart or not. Now, it's just this accountability of sending him this every day and knowing, now I got to take a picture of this food and I'm sending it to him, and I don't want to hide anything. It's not a time to hide anything, and to just see. Now I really appreciate it's just like if you went to a third world country and you only had $1 to live on for food that day, you would just like appreciate every penny. And so I learned how to appreciate calories, and you see them a different way, and you appreciate just so many different things in life more just from entering into this discipline, right? There are a lot of verses about being disciplined that people don't realize. That's what it's saying in the Greek. It says, God did not give us, in 2 Timothy 1:7, I think it is, or 2:7, but you can look it up. God did not give us a spirit of fear. That's timidity. God did not give us timidity. He gave us boldness. He did not give us a spirit of fear, but of power and dunamis. That's where they get, I'd studied Greek, go figure, right? Dunamis, power, and love. That's agape love. That's this unconditional love that you're choosing to give and let go and forgive other people. Like forgive, don't carry the burden of bitterness around. But so of power, God did not give us a spirit of fear, but of power and love and a sound mind, right? That's a mind able to be disciplined and sober. The disciples of Jesus, when he says, take up your cross and follow me, you think it's easy to take up a cross? That's dying to yourself every day. That's what this is. You're dying to your old thought patterns, your old way of operating, your old way of eating, your old way of exercising, and you're engaging in something new. All right, I had to wipe my nose from crying so much, from tearing up. All right. So, because the accountability is what made all the difference in the world. I keep thinking we have a guardian angel, you know. I don't know. Jesus said that every one of us, their little children we have guardian angels, but just in this consistent, no, just keep at it, right? And I'm here and you're doing it. Anyway, it's like that. It's like that. Anyway, I know when people come in to do work with me as a psychologist that I went to school for 9 years to get my doctorate, and I've been doing this for over 20 years. All right. And so they're getting what they're paying for. They're getting, like, my time is worth that. And so you're getting all these extra tips right now, but this is just me as a person. All right. All right, I've sort of told you my background story within this. I was a size 12 about 6 years ago. And for me, I went through a divorce and I have two kids, and we walked through cancer with one of them. And I'll just leave that more private, just that part I'll say. And we walked through all sorts of stuff. And so I've had this weight on my body for one time I got down to 144 because we had food delivered or something. And I felt great then, but it wasn't, that was before kids. All right. So that was a long time ago. And so I was a size 12 6 years ago, and then I did this weight resistance exercise with my own body weight for 5 or 6 days a week for 1 whole year, and I was able to go from a size 12 to a size 4. But then I didn't realize, because I didn't have a scale in the house, so I already said this, you have to have a scale, you have to weigh yourself. I'm like, all right, I never wanted to measure myself by my weight, but it's just keeping accountable. Don't measure your worth at all. Your worth has nothing to do with your weight. It's just numbers on a scale that's holding you accountable, so that you can watch it all go away, right? And so that's my story. I started at 188. I got down to 128, 127 today. And that's 60 pounds off my body. And so you can do this too. I know you can, because I'm just a regular person. And so a lot of people think you have to cook, and I hardly ever cooked this whole time on this. I actually didn't have time very much when I'm doing 2.5 hours of incline on those 3 days, on Monday, Wednesday, Friday. But I did at the beginning, when I thought it was okay for me to have this, I'd take like protein pancake mix, and I'd mix it with frozen blueberries and protein milk and a bunch of egg whites and a couple eggs and some oil. I just made up my own recipe, and I would put it in a casserole dish, and then I would cut it up so I knew exactly what was in it, exactly how many calories. And sometimes I'd have butter on it. It tasted amazing. I would just warm up a piece of that if I had to go quickly. And then I had protein. I had protein and carbs and fruit, and I loved that thing. I loved that thing. I still have some in my freezer, but I stopped doing it the last month or so to get the last 10 pounds off. So a little bit about myself. I am a mom. I love, look, if you see this other part, look, I'll show you my floor. I love reading. Those are just the books I'm on right now. My whole garage is covered with books. I have books over here. I love, now a lot of that I read before, so I don't read it as much now, but I love reading and studying ancient Greek. I mean, that's the language. I studied that, and I took Hebrew to understand what the Bible says. I didn't trust people as much what they're telling me it says. I wanted to understand what it actually says and what it says mystically. I teach about mysticism and psychology. I have my own YouTube channel, Dr. Cheryl Meyer, Meier, and I wrote this book. I've written 3 other books, or 4. I can't keep track. But so 12 ways to heal from trauma. See? And so this is me. And I just finished the Audible. And so that ought to be coming up soon if it's not up by the time you see this. And like I said, I'm a mom. I'm a homeschooling one of my kids right now. We do a hybrid. So he takes like the math classes somewhere else and some tutoring. And then we do all the rest, homeschool. And let me think what else. I roller skate. Usually I roller skate at least twice a week. We have a meetup where we go skate together in this park. And then I go down by the ocean, and you can go up and down the boardwalk or at this big old area. That's awesome. I'm not telling where that is because I love it. And you can watch the sun setting while you're roller skating, or I go to the rink. They used to have this 30s and over on Friday mornings at the local roller skating rink. So things like this, you find things that are fun, where it was called like coffee something. And so you go and they have it open from like 10 to 12 in the morning, and it comes with coffee with your price. And I have my own skates. So I go in, you get some coffee, you skate for 2 hours, and then I would schedule my clients after that. And I would feel so good by the time I go in to see my clients. And so other things that have helped me, I'll show you when I showed you that over there, when I flipped the camera around. Is look at all the, I'll show you. I don't know if you saw my dog. Look how cute she is. I have stuff like this all over my house. And I was going to say my poor kids, but it doesn't matter. It's fine. You do what you need to do, right? You are God's masterpiece. Ephesians 2:10. It's really, the word in Greek is poema. You are God's song. You are a song. You are a poem. And we're meant to be like this rose, right? Rise, open your soul eyes. I did a whole video on that, right? And so you are this. It's just understanding you are this. Before this diet or all this stuff takes place, you are this already, all right? So I have princesses, like I got this little bag, and that's on my shelf over there. And I have a lion. The righteous are as bold as a lion, right? And then this flowers. Don't forget to stop and smell the flowers. Like, be present in every moment. I have flowers on my journals. I have this on my water cup that I'm drinking out of every day. You plus me equals love. That's John chapter 15. He's like, abide in my love. As the Father has loved me, so I have loved you. God is love. The more you love, you know the nature of God. And so you're being loving to yourself when you enter into discipline. Like, I learned from all these classes. I was taking all of these classes on mindfulness and on just let them. I started listening to that Audible book, and I have this video at the top of my Instagram right now. Look, like, quit shoulding on yourself. You don't operate from should. That's shame-based. You operate from I choose, I like. Invite yourself to step into this and keep at it and keep at it. If you have to play like Rocky songs, then play it. And don't listen to any excuses in your own mind or from other people. Like, listen to your body. If your body is saying like something, I don't know. I like never get sick. I never oh, that's what I was going to say. I learned from the other things. I was like, yes, it's trash day. It's 9 o'clock at night. I'm super tired. I'm going to go out and take that trash out and be so appreciative that someone's picking up my trash tomorrow, instead of, oh no, I have to put everything down and then go get, you make it so much more difficult for yourself. When instead of going, oh, I have to go up this hill, like, yeah, I am going on my trail and it's inclined a little bit right now and I'm going to enjoy it. So that's some of the tricks that got me through all of this. Is I have notes all over my refrigerator, all over the floor. This is where I work out, is on the floor right there sometimes, if I don't do it in the garage. You are God's masterpiece. You are God's poema. In Greek, like I said, poem, which is like a song. And I love J.R.R. Tolkien, The Lord of the Rings. I'm always listening to Lord of the Rings or The Hobbit, because they're always walking in those as well. And not just because of that, because Tolkien, I visited his house. I took my son to his house, one of my sons. And I took him to the pub that C.S. Lewis and him would sit at. I love C.S. Lewis. And so I would always be listening to one of the Narnia books or Tolkien's books, because they actually help you get through. For me, they help me understand. Tolkien knew 50 languages. That's what I was taught. I took a class on C.S. Lewis 5 times, right? The rational approach to theology and the romantic approach. So there you have this imaginative side of your life and this logical side. And so you want to feed both sides, the beauty, right? The wonder, and this logical side of, wait, what are the facts about this? The dialectical definition of truth is to say what is, and what is not. All right. That's just the definition of truth. And to say, I am carrying an extra 60 pounds on my body. I don't want to be carrying that. 128 was always my goal weight, right? Because they would say 5'5" is, on average with the BMI would be 100 pounds plus 5 pounds my dad's a medical doctor, so I would hear this, 5 pounds for every inch afterwards. And this isn't for everybody, because I got muscle too, but that would be 5'5" would be like 125. And then I'm in between 5'5" and 5'6", so that would be 128, 127. And that's what I am today. Anyway, like, be excited for me. I'm excited for you. I really encourage you, do not idolize weight. It's not weight or weight loss or or don't body shame yourself where you are or where you will be or anything. It's just, like what I was saying, the definition of truth is, this is actually what a calorie is. I can't eat a half a bucket of buttered popcorn and not think those calories they're just going to disappear, right? Now, there are different types of food that don't stick on your body as much as other types, and that there's lots of lessons about that. But anyway, that's all. I got to go eat. I haven't eaten yet today, and I'm hungry because yesterday was fast day, but I wanted to get this done for us. All right, much love. I wish you all the best and so much love, always so much love. Peace and love, right?